Gloucestershire and Middlesex settled for a draw in weather-affected contest. Delays and disruptions had frustrated both sides throughout the first 3 days of this contest. Each time a batsman or bowler found their rhythm, the weather would end their momentum and the game was reset. It made for an intriguing contest which has been tough to call, but Gloucestershire had all the cards as they resumed, with the sun shining and clear skies projected throughout day 4. The home side were 87 for 4 with a lead of 141, Miles Hammond leading the way on 43 not out. He and Jack Taylor took control of the morning session, taking their side past the 100 mark as they began to trade shots. Hammond was in fine touch and determined mood and brought up his half-century as Gloucestershire cruised. The lead was stretching and Taylor took the target to 200 and reached his highest score of the season so far with a 4 off the bowling of James Fuller. He finished on 43 a few overs later, Middlesex finally getting a breakthrough as Tim Murtagh had him caught behind, the 5th wicket partnership worth 94 runs. But for all their effort, Middlesex couldn't find another and Gloucestershire went into lunch at 167 for 5, Hammond now unbeaten on 86. The lead was now 221 and the home side were in no mood to change course as play resumed. A misjudged single ended in Ryan Higgins being run out by James Fuller for 23, stranded halfway down the wicket. And Middlesex had another quickly, Ben Charlesworth unable to repeat his first innings form, Milan taking his wicket for 10. But that didn't spoil Hammond's moment, his second century of the season brought up in the next over with a 4 bludgeoned through the leg side. Craig Miles could only feather one through to Eskenazi to go for 9 before Gloucestershire decided enough was enough, declaring on 251 for 8 with a huge lead of 306. Middlesex put into bat with enough time for a few overs before tea, but they got off to a horror start. An impressive throw from James Bracey found the stumps as Sterling was called through for a single and the Ireland international was run out for 3. David Milan came in at 3 and fired off 2 quick boundaries before he too was out cheaply, Taylor taking the catch in the deep off the bowling of Payne to send the England man back to the dressing room with just 10 to his name. And 2 became 3 in no time at all. Nick Gubbins trapped LBW for 5, leaving Middlesex reeling at 18 for 3. They managed to make their way through to tea without any further damage, going in at 28 for 3. But the carnage continued when Middlesex resumed. Owen Morgan tried to clip one into the onside, but a leading edge spooned a catch up to Charlesworth, Payne sending him back with just 6 to his name. 7 wickets had already fallen in the day, and they shut up shop, recognising that a Gloucestershire win was a real possibility. James Fuller had been playing that way for the majority of his innings, but having been promoted from number 10, he was already on borrowed time when Higgins had him trapped LBW for 16. Sam Robson and Stevie Eskenazi could not be moved, and they took Middlesex past 100 with 10 overs remaining in the day, but 199 required for victory. 1 over later and the game was done, a handshake bringing the innings to a close as both sides agreed on a draw with Middlesex 111 for 5. It was a fair reflection of the story of the game. Both sides had found themselves on top, both had been put under pressure, neither doing quite enough to take the win. Gloucestershire will travel to Cardiff next time out, and they'll be looking to avenge their defeat from earlier in the season, Glamorgan's only victory so far. Middlesex miss out on a 4th consecutive win, and they now look to be too far behind to be considered real promotion contenders, even if they do put Kent to the sword at Lord's next week.